8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. Minister Dr. Bandula Gudavardhana says a book on economic scientific eye is launched with the sole purpose of educating the public about the current economic crisis and solutions provided through the 2024 budget. Sri Lanka hopes to strike a debt deal with commercial creditors within 2 months. Stringent legal action against businesses exploiting consumers and unfairly profiting. Princess Anne calls on President Ranil Wickremesinghe. A special notice for the A-level candidates affected by the inclement weather. A flood warning issued as the Senanayaka Samudra water levels reach the peak. In news overseas, Singapore starts work on its Osaka World Expo Pavilion. In sports news, Steve Smith replaces David Warner as test opener. The Minister of Mass Media, Transport and Highways, Dr. Bandula Gudavardhana, said a book on economic scientific eye is launched with the sole purpose of educating the public about the current economic crisis and solutions provided through the 2024 budget, the role of the IMF and accurate information relating to local and foreign debt restructuring. The book, written by Minister Dr. Bandula Gudavardhana, has all the important information with sufficient evidence. The book also gives a wide range of reviews on the economy, changes from 2003 to 2023. The information relating to the budget, trade deficits and other impacts since early 2000s was clearly analysed and discussed under 9 chapters. In 2022, the country faced the worst economic downfall due to the continuous failures on achieving budgetary targets for many years. However, the country started to breathe a little due to the IMF involvement and the implementation of the correct fiscal policies of the government. Incidentally, this was the 55th book written by the minister. The first copy of the book was presented to the Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene, who participated as a chief guest at this occasion. Parliamentarians, well-wishers, media heads and many intellectuals were also present at this book launch. Professor Shirantha Heenkenda and Professor Sirimala Beratne spoke at this function. The Governor of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, CBSL, says good faith negotiations are in progress with commercial creditors to reach an in-principle agreement as soon as possible. Addressing a special media briefing at the CBSL premises this morning, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe said the agreement is expected to reach within the next 2 months. Sri Lanka reached in-principle agreements with China's Export-Import Exim Bank and the Official Creditor Committee OCC in late 2023 on the financial terms of debt treatment. The OCC was formally formed on May 9th with 17 countries to respond to the Sri Lankan authorities' request for debt treatment. It is co-chaired by India, Japan and France as the chair of the Paris Club. It was established following the launch of a common platform in April 2023 for talks among bilateral creditors to coordinate restructuring of Sri Lanka's debt. Agreement with the Chinese Exim Bank was reached in October 2023, covering approximately $4.2 billion of outstanding debt. It was followed by the debt deal struck with the OCC, which covers $5.9 billion of outstanding debt. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, later said the 2 agreements are consistent with the 48-month Extended Fund Facility EFF arrangement provided to Sri Lanka. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Your next generation digital banking partner, People's Bank.
Her Royal Highness Princess Anne, the Princess Royal of the United Kingdom, accompanied by her spouse Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, who are on a 3-day official visit to Sri Lanka, met with President Ranil Wickremesinghe at the President's house this evening. Princess Anne had a casual and friendly discussion with President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The discussion also focused on strengthening bilateral ties between Sri Lanka and Britain. The Examinations Department has issued a special announcement for the 2023 GCE Advanced Level Examination candidates who are facing difficulties after the Badulla-Bandaravilla main road was blocked by an earth slip. A massive mound of earth collapsed across the road near the 7th mile post in Haliala, disrupting vehicular movement along the Badulla-Bandaravilla main road. Motorists have been urged to use alternate routes, the Bandaravilla-Ambirapitiya Road, Atampitiya Road and the Modara Spring Valley Road, until the section of the road which remains blocked is cleared. The Examinations Department said arrangements have been made for the candidates who find it difficult to travel to Bandaravilla from Badulla, who can sit for the exam at the Badulla Central College. Meanwhile, the candidates travelling from Bandaravilla to Badulla can sit for the exam at the Bandaravilla Central College. They are also advised to arrive at the exam centres at least 45 minutes before the test begins. Once again, motorists have been urged to use alternate routes, Bandaravela Atampiti Road and Damodara Spring Valley Road until the section of the road which remains blocked is cleared. The examinations department said arrangements have been made for the candidates who find it difficult to travel to Bandaravela from Badulla can sit for the exam at the Badulla Central College. Meanwhile, candidates travelling from Bandaravela to Badulla can sit for the exam at the Bandaravela Central College. They are also advised to arrive at the exam centres at least 45 minutes before the test begins. The Department of Irrigation has issued an amber flood warning for the downstream areas of the Gul Oya. As per the warning, the capacity of the Siranayaka Samudra has reached its peak as at 4 p.m. today. As such, there is a high possibility of rapid rise in spillway discharge starting even today evenings. The Irrigation Department warns. Therefore, the public and motorists in the downstream areas of the Gul Oya are requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by floods. Meanwhile, the people who are living in the low-lying areas of Polvatta, Pahalalanda, Irakkamam, Akkarepattu, Adalachchenai, Aliyadevembu, Samanturai, Kasif, Nintavur, Saintamardu, Kalmunay and the Southeastern University area at Oluville are urged to be vigilant regarding the matter. Once again, people who are living in the low-lying areas of Polvatta, Pahalalanda, Irakkamam, Akkarepattu, Adalachchenai, Aliyadevembu, Samanturai, Kasif, Nintavur, Saintamaruthu, Kalmunay and the Southeastern University area at Oluville are urged to be vigilant regarding the matter. Motorists running through these areas are requested to pay high attention in this regard, while the disaster management authorities are requested to take adequate precautions.
Enjoy seamless shopping. Open LCs, settle bills and transfer funds instantly, anywhere and anytime. With People's Bank Digital Solutions, you're empowered to do more whenever and wherever you want. Unlock a world of modern banking conveniences with People's Bank, your next generation digital banking partner. People's Bank.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
The State Minister for Finance Ranjit Siambalapati emphasized a strict enforcement of laws to eradicate the trade mafia generating profits without registering with the Inland Revenue Department. He also outlined the government's plan to expand the tax base, anticipating a rise in the direct tax percentage to 40%. These remarks were made during his participation in a special VAT awareness conference at the Ministry of Finance yesterday, organized by Saman Ratnapriya, the Director General of the Presidential Trade Unions, for the benefit of civil society activists, government officials, political activists, trade union leaders and journalists. Expressing his views, State Minister Ranjit Siambalapati further said, these challenging times affect everyone, regardless of their economic status, as incomes decrease and expenses rise. The government acknowledges these difficulties and recognizes the necessity of its ongoing program to address the country's problems. Increasing government revenue is crucial for economic development, and to achieve this, the government aims to expand the tax base. The direct tax percentage has already risen from 20% to 30%, with plans to further increase it to 40%. The government also enforces strict laws to combat the trade mafia, preventing them from making unfair profits through fake bills without proper registration with the Inland Revenue Department. Additionally, there is potential to reduce indirect taxes in the future.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatma.
This is Watchlight.
Observing a significant increase in leprosy cases, a total of 1,550 leprosy cases were logged in 2023, with 173 cases being reported among school children. According to the anti-leprosy campaign, the majority of the cases have been recorded from the Colombo district, with 315 cases, while 168 and 151 cases have been reported from the Gampaha and Kaluthara districts respectively. In light of the uptick in cases among school children, a nationwide program was initiated at the school level to detect leprosy infections. The anti-leprosy campaign further states that there are two types of leprosy spreading in the country, communicable and non-communicable. Unfortunately, of the cases detected, 60% are classified as communicable, indicating a potential higher risk of transmission. According to the United States Center for Disease Control and Prevention, approximately 95% of humans are immune to the bacteria causing leprosy.
Coming up, World News.
In world news headlines, workers prepare to remove fuel debris from Fukushima Daiichi. Singapore starts work on its Osaka World Expo Pavilion. Aiden Canto, X-Men and designated survivor star, dies of cancer at 42. The operator of the damaged Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant has started preparations to remove nuclear debris from one of the 3 reactors that suffered a meltdown in 2011. The debris is a mixture of molten nuclear fuel and parts of the reactor structure. Its removal is the biggest challenge in decommissioning the plant. The government and the plant's operator Tokyo Electric Power Company plan to conduct a test retrieval of a small amount of debris from the number 2 reactor by March. Singapore has started work on its pavilion for the 2025 World Exposition in Osaka, becoming the first nation to do so among those planning to construct their pavilions by themselves. Workers measured this site on Wednesday, where Singapore's facility will be set up. About 60 countries out of 160 participants have chosen to build their own pavilions, but delays have plagued preparations, partly due to soaring material costs. Osaka city officials say Ireland has completed all of the procedures required to begin construction, and 11 other nations have obtained construction permits from the city. Actor Aiden Canto was known for US TV shows like Designated Survivor and films including X-Men Days of Future Past, has died at the age of 42. The Mexican star had suffered from appendix cancer, his publicist said. Canto was a national security advisor in Designated Survivor alongside Kiefer Sutherland, who paid tribute to the actor as such a wonderful spirit. Another main point of the World News segment. Once again, workers prepare to remove fuel debris from Fukushima Daiichi. Singapore starts work on its Osaka World Expo Pavilion. Aiden Canto, X-Men and designated survivor star, dies of cancer at 42. And now in development news, Fitzair, Sri Lanka's leading low-cost airline, has announced a significant enhancement to its service offerings by obtaining approval for in-flight self-catering. This strategic move aligns with the airline's vision to offer low-cost international travel. Fitzair's in-flight catering services prioritize affordability and variety, providing passengers with wallet-friendly meal choices that won't strain their budgets. The in-flight menu features practical yet satisfying meal options, ensuring passengers receive excellent value for spend.
Moving on with sports news.
Steve Smith will replace David Warner as Australia's Test opener despite never batting in the position in his 16-year first-class career. Smith, 34, will alongside open Usman Khawaja in the first Test against West Indies in Adelaide from the 17th of January. Smith has never opened in 167 first-class games, which includes 105 Tests. There were plenty within the team who were pretty keen to go on record and say that they weren't keen to do it, said selector George Bailey.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Cargill's Bank Limited ceremonially rang the opening bell at the Colombo Stock Exchange at 9:30 a.m. on the 9th of January 2024 to mark the successful conclusion of its initial public offering, IPO and listing on the CSE. Shares of Cargill's Bank Limited commenced trading on the main board of the CSE under the ticker symbol CBNK.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, the current value-added tax increase will have an impact on inflation, but it will not increase more than 5% this year, the State Minister of Finance Ranjit Singh Rapatia said yesterday. The YOY inflation has already increased from 3% to 4% in December. He said that the current inflation may rise up to around 5% due to the VAT increase, but it would not move to the double-digit level, he said.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the prevailing showery conditions are expected to be reduced, or rather to reduce, in the northern, north-central, Uva and eastern provinces by tomorrow. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota district. Several spells of showers may occur in the north-central province. Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabregam and central provinces and in the Gala and Mathura districts after 1 p.m. The public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during the thundershowers. This weather report was issued at 7:30 p.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. That was the report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. Minister Dr. Banduru Guruvardhana says a book on economic scientific eye is launched with the sole purpose of educating the public about the current economic crisis and solutions provided through the 2024 budget. Sri Lanka hopes to strike a debt deal with commercial creditors within 2 months. Stringent legal action against businesses exploiting consumers and unfairly profiting. Princess Anne calls on President Ranil Wickremesinghe. A special notice for the A-level candidates affected by the inclement weather. Flood warnings issued as the Sinanayake Samudre water levels reach the peak. In news overseas, Singapore starts work on its Osaka World Expo Pavilion. In sports news, Steve Smith replaces David Warner as test opener. That concludes this news broadcast, and now it's back to Chagi Dabare on the other side to keep you in great company. Over to you, Chagi. It's a surprise for you and me both. Well, the both of us don't come on these days, but anyway, over to you, Chagi. I know you'll have a wonderful time with our dear listeners out there.